I'm Aaron Phillips alongside Ricky Cash, who was just alongside me as we're putting the finishing touches on our headsets and volume controls. We want to thank you for joining us tonight here on our weekly show. And let's see, is that one you?
No, that's me.
That's you. How about this one? There you go. All right, very good. We want to welcome everybody to the pre-week Halloween edition.
Boy, you come up with something.
I know.
Every week you got to give it a name, right?
I know. I don't know why I do that, but I do. What can I tell you? October 23rd is today's date. We want to thank you for joining us and tuning in anywhere along the VegasAllNetRadio.com channels, website. You can also download us on the downloadable apps on your iPhone, Android, iPad, iPod. Just go to your store and be able to check out downloading the app. Take us with you. And we'd be ready to go. So what's going on there, Mr. Cash?
You know, we're just about ending a 5-month heat wave. You know, it's finally going to go below average temperatures,
right.
Finally into the 70s this weekend.
Yes.
I mean, we've had, when you think about it, since the beginning of May, we've had above normal temperature for the entire, we didn't have a hot summer, right? I mean, it wasn't, but we didn't hit the 117s.
Right.
But overall, it's been a heat wave for 5 months.
Right. Yeah, so it's good that things are going to cool down.
And we stopped going into the pool the end of August. How silly of us.
Labor Day.
Yeah.
It's like you don't wear white shoes after Labor Day. You don't go swimming afterwards.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Ridiculous.
So, anyway, hey, by the way, you know what I did today? I early voted today.
You did?
I did. You know why? I wanted to make sure my vote got counted for the margin tax, my no.
Oh, yeah.
Because right now, the margin tax, if it were held today and voting were closed, that margin tax would actually pass by 6 percentage points.
That's terrible.
So,
even with every politician and every important celebrity here in town going against
yeah, and I've been blasting and forwarding stuff on Facebook and talking to the different groups that I belong to, and all the groups I belong to, of course, are all business people. So, folks, if you haven't voted yet and you're on the fence, just please do your due diligence and don't get caught up in what is perceived to be an education tax, because it is not. It is not an education tax. It's a tax that, quite frankly, can put a lot of businesses out of business. So
no question about it. You know, the proponents of the bill say, you know, it goes into this fund. Well, for those of you who follow money politics here in this state, it's a discretionary fund, which means that it can go anywhere.
Right. And the last time they did that, the governor, during all the budget crisis here in our state a few years back, pulled nearly $70 million out of the school rainy day fund, whatever it was called, and put it into the general fund for the state. And not that money is going to fix everything, but certainly it would help if that money were still there. Anyway, I digress on politics, which generally we don't do here. But anyway, so I early voted today. Got you know. So I don't know what.
Well, in this case, the reason why we digress is because so many of the people that are associated with Vegas Unwrapped and have been supporters of Vegas Unwrapped for the past 5.5 years are small businesses.
Oh, absolutely.
Who are going to be affected by this. So, of course, we're going to take a stand on something like this.
Absolutely.
Just like we take a stand on against bullying, against domestic violence, against child trafficking, and the list goes on. These are all political issues, but they're also something that we have to make a stand on.
Absolutely.
I also voted Saturday.
Bobcat, can you bring up JPEG's mic, please?
I also voted Saturday.
Did you? You did early voting, too?
Yes, I did early voting.
Very good.
Yep. That's why I love Nevada.
I got my flu shot today.
Did you really?
Yes. No,
You're going to be sick in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I got my flu shot last week, too.
Yep.
I don't get the flu shot.
Yeah, I know.
That's why we do.
Why? Because I don't?
Yeah.
Well, we're seniors, though. Seniors really do need to get it.
Hey, I'm a member of AARP.
Yeah, I know, but
through Robin.
How many surgeries do we need to have before we qualify for seniorship?
You get a punch card?
2.3.
Like, can you imagine?
Get 10 surgeries and
you get the next one free?
You get one free.
Wouldn't that be wild? Hey, if you have 10, you don't even want the 11th.
No, it's true. Well, it depends on what it is.
Yeah.
Could be an enhancement surgery.
Mr.
Cash, any shout-outs? Anything going on in your wild world over there?
My wild world.
Such a wild world.
Well, Hello?
No, that was just John turning his mic off.
Oh,
That's
okay.
all.
Well, I went to the doctor today.
Right.
Because I've been having these major neck pains.
Right.
And it turns out that,
Pain in the neck.
Yeah, by the way, it's funny that you mentioned that because when the doctor came in, he said to me, I understand you have a pain. I said, yeah, Cammy always says I'm a pain in the neck. So, but actually, it's arthritis. And although it was suggested to me by my good friend Lois,
right,
that I should look into some ibuprofen and some arthritis pain medication, I can't take ibuprofen because my kidney function is borderline, so you can't mess with that stuff.
Right.
But so heating pad, topical cream like Aspir cream, and he gave me some neck exercises.
What?
Yes, he did. He gave me some neck exercises.
And that would encompass doing what?
Meeting Charlotte.
Kissing.
I blew that. Oh, my God. I had it all set up for Lois, you know?
Keith Jackson would say, fumble!
Anyway, Lois, you got the idea. Because I called her,
right?
And I got her answering machine. I told her to call me back, and when she did, I was napping. I nap. You do too. Don't look at me that way.
I didn't say anything about napping.
I nap.
I can't wait till the clocks change, because then when I nap at 4 p.m, it'll be midnight.
It'll be dark.
Like it was getting over here tonight.
It'll make some sense.
Holy shnikes, I'll tell you what, it's dark early. But
right.
All right, so the voice you heard before was the inimitable JPEG, our videographer and partner, and of course doing it with Styles. We'll hear from him later on. Coming up here in the first hour, we're going to hear from the gang from Compassion Care Hospice, Nicole, who is the marketing director, and she's going to be coming in with the head of nursing.
Wow.
We're actually going to hear about the check-in stuff and what they do and how they talk to patients.
They've been such an excellent advertiser sponsor for us, and we're so pleased to be able to let people know that Compassion Care, as the hospice that it gives, is such an important factor.
Right.
Hey, speaking of which,
he's home.
He is home now?
Yes.
I'm glad you can finish my sentence.
Well, I'm talking about hospice. There's only one other person that we know of, right?
And he's home.
He came home today. Jimmy Bryan, our good friend, was
defeating some more odds. Is he?
Well, it's funny you mentioned about kidney functions before, because he was having trouble going to the bathroom and he was having a kidney issue, and so they had him in. And he went to hospice. I don't want to mention the other company's name because it'll conflict with Compassion
Well, it doesn't.
Care.
Doesn't really, but that's
that's your Compassion Care.
One's in-house.
One's in-house.
Right.
One's the outhouse.
So he was at Adelson.
He was at Adelson,
right?
And was messaging with him on Facebook today, and he is back at home. So Jimmy's at home resting comfortably.
Jimmy is he's an idol.
I know he's an idol of yours.
He really is. Because
absolutely.
He's a guy that just he stares the Grim Reaper in the face and says, "Is that all you got?" And he beats him. He beats him to death.
And he's the
Energizer Bunny.
He is. He absolutely is. And he's a young guy.
Yeah,
he just turned 60.
Yeah, he's younger than I am. Sure.
So
younger than JPEG too,
but not younger than me.
No.
Okay. All right, let's introduce and welcome our fourth member of the team here, Mr. Bobcat on the board. How are you, sir?
Good evening. Good evening.
You're in your festive orange Halloween?
Yes,
I'm
looking good.
Yes,
we had the pleasure of escorting Mrs. Bobcat home on Sunday night after the big Leonetti Castell bonanza.
How was the big show?
It was actually very, very nice. Up on the Vegas Unwrapped fan page is a montage video of the interviews that Mr. Cash and I did, and was edited and put together by JPEG. Thank you very much.
Yes.
And the event was great. I mean, 150 plus people, 16-piece orchestra. We got to meet some great people. It was a lot of fun. It was a great show.
Interviews too.
We had some fun interviews, some wacky interviews.
I thought the best interview was with T Fox.
Yeah,
T Fox, and of course with Barry Gordy's nephew,
Robert Gordy Jr.
Gordy. Those two I thought were the best interviews. And what was so amazing about them is they liked us.
God only knows why.
They treat us like we were the stars.
Exactly.
And me and T Fox had the same shoes.
Right.
Oh, that was so cool. Yeah, you look like a hoodlum back in the 30s.
The only thing missing was the fedoras.
He looked a little like George Raft.
I can call my buddy the Duke of Fremont Street and get you a cool hat like that.
There you go.
Really?
Right. Duke of Fremont.
Yeah, it's the Duke of Fremont. He is a professional poker player here in Las Vegas, and he is the Duke of Fremont Street.
All right.
All right. I've got a couple of questions for you gentlemen out there.
All right.
First of all, we are now part of the Ricky Cash fan club.
That's right. Yes, you are.
If he does not quit clicking that thing, I'm going to take that microphone from him. All right.
Well, you know what? Your wife was so nice to do
That's Cash's stomach.
I'm telling you, he's about to get it.
Your wife was so nice to post the video, and,
Yes.
and we really appreciate that.
Absolutely.
It was
Well,
great.
you're all locked in. Now, the second thing of this, I thought we agreed last week that we were not bringing in professional people.
No. We said you could not bring in professional people.
All right. So I see what y'all trying to do.
Oh.
You think that the Bobcat doesn't have ears all the way around. You're
he
trying to
does.
hook into my drivers. You're trying to bring my all right.
You said, and I quote,
We
you can
pull it
bring
up.
in
We can-
anybody we want to.
Okay.
That's
We
right.
said you could not have professional
That's
drivers.
all right.
Because you and whoever else is racing are more professional than he and I together will ever be on a track.
That's all right.
Of course, we came up with a new plan.
That's all right. Just keep going.
We're working on it.
You're working on it, right?
Oh, you have no idea.
All right. Well,
great
we're
stuff.
ready to go. We're ready to go. In fact, next Wednesday, I heard Chef Michael run on his jaw. So when you guys are on the radio with them next Wednesday, don't be surprised if the old Bobcat ain't on the old toll-free line, because if he wants to run the jaw, we'll put Leonetti in one of them go-karts and see where he wants to go with this.
What did he say?
Well, I'm just telling you that the Bobcat's got the ears, buddy. I've got the ears.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
What did he say? We missed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said that the old guy, long-haired, this, that, and everything else.
Good man.
Yeah, well,
good
that's-
man.
Good
Yeah.
man, that's it. Shall we do this real quickly so we can get on with this?
Yes, let's
Go
go.
for it. All right, let's go. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Vegas Unwrapped, your shooting the Bobcat from the Sports Desk. Well, let's talk about it, man, right now. Wait, Kevin Nash is out. The Lakers guard is done. Back injury. He is going to be on the sideline. He's out and about, and nobody wants to play with Kobe Bryant, Mr. Cash.
That's for sure. That
Is Kobe that tough of a person to get along with, sir?
He wants the ball.
He wants the ball. All right.
Doesn't want anybody else to have the ball.
Well, then maybe the Lakers should just put Kobe on the court and see how he does by himself, okay? Hey, let's get a little bit of college football action for you. Eastern Carolina University is up on Connecticut right now, 24-21. 8 minutes to play in the game. We've got some, let's talk NHL right now. We got a 2-2 tie with Pittsburgh and Detroit. And we got a little bit of, do we have some NHL? Oh, where's my Major League? Where's my NFL at today? I'm looking for it. I can't find them. I can't find my NFL. Where did they go? 21-7. Denver on top of San Diego. There they are. That's a sport for you guys. There.
Manning has 3 touchdowns. I'm so glad I started him.
You think he's a little hyper?
I don't-
tonight?
I know.
You think the shake I got him last week is
Still carrying over?
Yeah, man, I think it's good.
I put a lot of stuff in that.
I know you did.
That's kicking, baby.
And you only took the cherry.
Yeah, that's all.
I do appreciate that chocolate chip.
Left him the stead.
Peyton Manning has 3 touchdowns. 21. I'm glad I started him. I thought about going to Luck, but no, I got to play the hot hand, man.
Big question.
Yes.
How much is he up on the pizza sales tonight?
Yeah.
That's a good
That's right.
Well, you know, man, you can't beat that, guys. You know that, man. You get taken. You think your career's done and over with, right? So you get shipped to Denver. You're online. You get yourself 16 Papa John's restaurants and retire. You're done.
You know he has 16.
16
That's
restaurants.
amazing. Well, like John Elway had like 12 car dealerships around
Right.
town. I mean, you know, these guys, Denver's a pretty good place to go.
But there's one advantage.
Pizza in Denver is going to go a lot faster than cars anywhere else, man.
Yeah, I was going to say, man.
Especially after having a toke or two.
Yeah. You start baking one down, buddy. I can see that toll-free number. Send me 5 larges right now.
Our Vegas Unwrapped fan page is Vegas Unwrapped Internet Radio. You can see all that's going on. Pictures from the WEMA event this past week and checking us all decked out in our gangster wear. And yes, sir.
I have one more quick sports thing. Who would have ever believed this? That we would have gotten down to the chase?
Yeah.
And this is done. Can you believe it? That the following are out. Dale Earnhardt Jr. will not run for the championship. Jimmy Johnson won't run for it. Las Vegas native Kyle Busch and Casey Kane are out. They're done. The show moves to the paperclip Martinsville Speedway this weekend.
You know, before you go to commercial, I have to tell you that even Mr. Phillips got caught up a little bit in the medicinal purposes of Mary Jane. Yeah, he got a post. He got a post when he mentioned something about not feeling well from our friend R.S. Cashman in California that suggested to Mr. Phillips that he should try some
Mary Jane.
Yeah, for medicinal purposes only. Then he asked, is it legal yet?
Not my cup of tea. I'd rather just take regular painkillers. Thank you very much. You're listening to Vegas Unwrapped. Phillips and Cash. Bobcat on the board. JPEG behind the camera. Coming up, Compassion Care Hospice will be in the house.
Hopefully.
Well, they're probably in the green room. I'll go get checked now. Or you want to grab him, John?
Don't grab him.
Well, you might want to grab him. I don't know. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to Vegas Unwrapped. Aaron Phillips, Ricky Cash, Bobcat on the board. What do you keep turning?
The first one.
Well, how did it turn?
I don't know. That's good. That's wonderful.
I could go the other way on you.
You've done that before.
Yes, I have. Is that good?
Yeah, it's great.
All right, we're still fixing our headsets in the studio.
I can't hear anything.
What? Turn on your mic. You'll hear. You can't hear anything. Great. We're digressing, and it's only 21 minutes into the show. Jeez Louise. Well, the nice thing is we'll get right back on track here because our guests are in studio. Compassion Care Hospice are great supporters, and we want to thank Lori and crew for supporting Vegas Unwrapped and working with us the last X number of months. And sitting here was actually sitting next to Mr. Cash. To his right is Nicole. I don't know I don't remember what your full title is, but I may be promoting you right now. Director of Marketing.
I'm actually the lead community liaison.
I like Director of Marketing better. And it was actually Nicole who we met almost a year ago at the Senior Spotlight Spectacular. It was one of our folks that were helping us that day. Introduced herself to Nicole, and the rest is history. So it's good to see you again.
You too. I can't believe it really has almost been a year.
I believe, March or April, the first event? Yeah, absolutely. And of course, we saw you at the last one at the Orleans. You were tucked in that little corner spot there. And joining us this time, Lori decided to pass on the baton. To actually have us tonight give a little different perspective is Samantha, but I heard you introduce yourself as Sam. Which do you prefer?
I usually go by Sam, but with our population, if I say Sam, I get in trouble because that's a boy's name.
Oh. Okay.
So either or.
Either or. She is an RN for Compassion Care, but she's basically your head of admissions.
Yes.
So we're going to spend a little time talking about what happens when someone chooses to go into hospice care and what the processes and procedures are, Mr. Cash.
Sounds like a good idea because, once again, this is an area where most people are totally clueless.
Absolutely.
So we're glad you're here. Tell us about the process.
So typically, if you're at home, either you have a loved one at home with you or in a facility, and you're not sure if they're hospice appropriate, you would give us a call, kind of let us know what's going on, and we would send a nurse out to evaluate.
Okay.
That nurse is educated and has done lots of training to see exactly what would make them appropriate.
Now, what are they looking for when they go out and make that first evaluation?
Things like weight loss,
Okay.
Any sores that may have happened, any decline, basically, over the last 6 months.
Okay.
Just to see the person they are today, if that's any different than they were 6 months ago. Sometimes the patient's not appropriate, and that's okay too. We'll at least give you a heads up on what to look for. And if they are, then we'll help you in steering in the hospice direction also.
Okay.
You know, when you see people 6 months after you've seen them and they've lost 35, 40 pounds, it is a scary sight.
Yes.
How do you reassure them just on that first visit that even though this is what you see, we're going to work with you? And how do you ease the mind, not just of the person who has had the weight loss, but of the caregiver who's called to ask for your help?
Kind of let them know that we're here to help them. Especially if they're at home, that's when it's a lot more difficult because that's when they're nervous about the changes that they're seeing, whether their loved one is no longer getting up every morning or no longer being able to go to the grocery store or even use the bathroom on their own. It's unfortunately, it's part of the process. But we would make sure that we would be there to help them, with caregivers, volunteers, nurses to come to the home. They're not alone in this journey anymore once you elect hospice. You have a whole team that's on your side to make the transition a lot easier for you.
I would think that that's obviously the best approach to take, because I think the support in numbers is sometimes a whole lot better than just one person saying, "Don't worry, everything's going to be okay."
Right.
Absolutely.
And I want to clarify that Compassion Care Hospice provides in-home service,
Right.
versus other hospice providers where you have options of either doing in-home or what would you call it, in-center, I guess?
Inpatient.
Thank you. So I just want to clarify that
Right.
you're more of the mobile in-home service.
Correct. Well, and that's the nice thing with Compassion Care and having an admissions team is it can be very overwhelming and scary for not only the patient that needs to get on service, but like you said, for caregivers, if it's a spouse, it can be a very scary situation. And having a nurse be kind of the first point of contact to come in, answer their questions, kind of ease their fears, and then from then on, we're available to families 24/7. So they can call us anytime, day or night, and we're there just to support them, which is huge.
Do you visit and go out on these first admissions at all to see not just to see the process, but does it help you in being able to then, when you promote and go out and talk to people about the service, do you go out on these first calls at times?
Absolutely, yeah. It's a nice kind of team effort. Marketing and admissions work together. So if all admissions are busy, then the marketing is going out, and they're the first point of contact with the family. So, like Samantha said, we're all educated, and we know, what we can offer and what we need to do for these families. So we work together. It's really nice.
How much I meant to ask you this last time, but
The fact that you even remember the question from last time,
it's incredible.
and remember it today.
How much contact do you have with when I say their, meaning your clients, with their medical practitioners, their doctors?
In the beginning, we would call them. First, we'd talk to the family to see if they want to keep their current doctor or if they want to switch over to one of our doctors. The difference being, if you switch over to one of our doctors, we can get a hold of them 24 hours a day. If anything happens, if we need to change medications, anything like that. If they want to continue on with their private care physician, then we would give them a call, let the doctor know, and kind of go over what medications they want to continue or anything they want to, stop right up front. And then we're in contact with them every week thereafter. Either it's an update or to get a new order, or just see if they have any questions about the care.
It's good because it's important to have that consistency in medical care, but I didn't know the other part about
Right.
you guys having your own, physicians that you work with as well. That's great.
Well-
They really have the whole package.
Yeah, a lot of people also kind of think that if you sign up with hospice, you lose the decision making and we take over and we tell you what to do. That's not the case. We're there for you. So we're basically supporting you in your decisions and whatever you want to do from that point on. We're just there to support and help. So it's your decision and we're there. If you want to stick with your own physician, you can do that.
What's the nurse to patient ratio? In other words, how many patients is one nurse responsible for when they go out and make their visits? You have a teacher to student ratio? What's the ratio per nurse per client?
I want to say on average it's 10 to 12.
Okay.
And of course that could change depending on what our census is and who's being taught and educated and things like that. But that nurse sits and makes their schedule at the beginning of the week to see all of those patients. When that nurse is there, they're there for that patient. That's usually an hour to 2 hours when they're there.
Okay.
But like I said, it's usually 10 to 12 during the week. And then, of course, there's the on-call.
Okay.
Who are still there after hours.
Is that a good average? Is that high? Is that low versus national averages? Or is that about on par for hospice service, a 1 to 10 or 1 to 12 ratio?
I want to to say, I think it's a little bit below. I know some
Right.
of the
Okay.
larger hospices here see like 15, I want to say
15
even
to
like
17.
20 patients.
Wow.
That's high.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking if you do a 10 to 12, let's say,
Right.
and maybe a 2 to 4, 5 days a week, that's 10.
Right.
So if you, and then you get a couple more in there, I think that's pretty good, because if you have somebody coming in once a week for 2 hours, that person's going to feel like,
Of course.
really good about that.
Well, and from a marketing standpoint, meeting families and getting to know their needs, it's nice to watch them be assigned a nurse and a CNA, and that those two people stay the same throughout the time that they're on our service. So we're not switching between different nurses and different certified nursing aides. It's the two same people coming into the home on a regular basis. So that continuity of care is really important to us, and our nurses really get to know the families and the patients.
Do you have a staffing issue at all as far as turnover and replacing people and hiring new people? I don't mean that as a bad thing. I'm just saying,
Right.
is that something that's ongoing with you?
To be honest, I've been with Compassion Care for 3 years, and what I see, people that leave, it's because they leave Las Vegas. They move out of state for whatever reason. It's not, to go to another organization or to do something different. It's just because they're leaving. So,
That's high marks.
yeah.
Besides, if you thought about leaving, Lori would scare me. And I mean that with all due respect. No, I'm only kidding. All right, we're going to step aside for a quick break. When we come back, we're going to get into more about what the process is after that initial meeting with the potential client, and put everybody's mind at ease, because it could be scary. Hospice is could be a scary situation for those who don't know. You're listening to Vegas Unwrapped. Aaron Phillips, Ricky Cash, everybody in their normal positions. You're listening to Nicole and Samantha from Compassion Care Hospice. More with them right after this. Just done. Guess what I just done, dude?
Yeah.
Dude, done. That sounds like something, what's his name? Brian Hoffman would say as Red Skelton.
Yeah.
I done doed it.
I done doed it.
I done doed it. All right, welcome back to Vegas Unwrapped. We digress once again, as always, and it's early tonight for digression. Jeez. Usually the second hour is really going to be interesting with who knows? Well, I almost ruined the surprise, but I have a surprise call for you coming in the second hour.
I'm always up for surprises.
I know you are. All right. Just where am I going? I have no idea. Maybe if I follow the production sheet I make up, that would help. Joining us at the microphone is Nicole and Sam from Compassion Care Hospice. And we were talking about what the procedure is and some of the things that happen through admissions when there's a potential patient client. Do you guys call them patients or clients or friends? Well, what do you call somebody who's on the service?
I like to call them clients.
Okay.
Coming from nursing standpoint, they're patients.
Okay. Because,
It makes sense.
but it just sounds harsh.
Well,
but the marketing side is clients.
And certainly if you're in a hospital,
That's right.
you're a patient.
That's right.
No, you really do. I can call some patients friends. You really make connections with some people.
Right.
It's a good thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And they appreciate it too. And I'm sure they do. All right, so let's go back to the beginning. So Sam, you go out, you do your evaluation, you determine yes, no, whatever. Let's presume that there's a yes. What happens next in the process for someone to get onto the service?
We would discuss kind of how we talked about before with the physician, if the physician wanted to remain their current physician. If they did, we would see if that doctor wanted to change anything. If they didn't, then we would contact one of our physicians to take over care. And then that's when a lot of conversation comes in with the family and the patient involved to see what they need done first in terms of medications, in terms of any equipment that they need, in terms of any questions that need to be answered. So
What's your most usual questions that they ask?
a lot of it is the medications.
Really?
A lot of patients that are appropriate are on a very long list of medications that they do not need half of them.
That they don't need half
That they
of them?
do not need them at all.
Wow.
So obviously things like vitals will be done, a head-to-toe assessment, and that helps narrow down what medications are necessary. And then, of course, like I said, we'd include the family in on all of this. So they're involved. We're not going to stop a medication if the family is not comfortable in stopping it. But, of course, we're going to educate on why we'd want to stop that med.
And then ultimately it's still the choice of the family or the client to say yes or no.
Right.
Okay, gotcha.
And it's not just, we're not just there for the patient, it's the entire family.
Right.
So if your loved one has a bit of a memory loss, it's going to have to be your word standing up for them, and we're going to listen.
Gotcha. Okay. So now we've gone through the case file, basically, and we've got everything in order. Then what? What happens next at that point, once everything's approved and in line?
Then we would do things like order the medications, or like I mentioned about the equipment, if you need a hospital bed, if you need a wheelchair. All of that is covered by hospice, and it gets delivered typically the same day, unless you want it the day after.
Okay.
Our visit's usually about 3 hours. We have the longer visit because we're going over your complete health history.
Which makes
So
sense.
everything, any documentation that you have, any illness that you've had that you want us to know about, we're going to make copies and we're going to document that in our system. After the admission nurses leave, that's when you're going to meet the next day your team. Your RN that's going to be visiting you every week, and they're going to set you up with your CNA, your social worker.
And these people all come to the client's home to do all
Right.
of that? Okay.
They contact you usually between 8 and 10 in the morning to set up a time to come out there, and that's when you start your relationship with them and know what days work best for you and what exactly needs to be done between your team to make the entire process easy and comfortable.
Who determines, and I'm sure it's you guys, but I'm just more for the listenership, who determines how often you're out there to see them? In other words, once the plan is in place, who determines how many days a week, how many hours? How does that come about?
It's the patient and the family. It's our guidelines that we have. The registered nurse has to be out there once a week. And then more than that, if something happens, if a fall happens, if you have a medication question or anything at home that you may need assistance with, is another sign for the nurse to come out. In terms of the CNA care, they can come up to 7 times a week, and that's up to the family and the patient. If you want a bath 7 times a week, you can have that. If you want to get up out of bed and dressed only 3 times a week, that's totally fine and up to you. You're kind of the maker of the rules in that case.
Do you get volunteer caregivers?
You can have volunteers. We ask that you give us a little bit of a heads up, about 24 to 48 hours. Say your loved ones want to go to the grocery store and don't want the patient home by themselves. Let us know. We can have a volunteer come and sit with them and stay with them.
Do volunteers can they go just to visit a patient, to keep them company, play cards with them or whatever on their own
Yes.
schedule? Is there a schedule for that?
It's based on the volunteers' availability.
Okay.
Again, because they're volunteering, it's, however many hours they want to donate
Sure.
their time, what they want to do. But just to clarify, volunteers cannot do any sort of care.
Of course.
So yeah, it'd be more for companionship. Like Samantha said, if somebody has to run errands, or if like the spouse or the caregiver has their own doctor's appointments and things like that, and we just need someone to sit with our patients, then that's the type of thing that we would do.
And we do have special volunteers. Volunteers who are certified with pet therapy, with aromatherapy oils, with music. We have volunteers who play instruments. So whatever the family and the patient desires, we'll make sure we get that volunteer in place.
Gotcha.
So you have a wide range of assets to call upon to meet the needs of every single different type of person that needs your care.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That's a huge undertaking as far as making sure you have all of that. That's, even let's say, just for argument's sake, you have 50 patients. You might need to have 300, 400 people available to cover all those patients. Wow. That's huge.
Why,
Lots of backup.
you thinking of a new line of work now?
No. I'm just so impressed with the fact that this type of care is available to the less fortunate and those who are, ill and infirmed. I think it's amazing the type of job that's being done, and I'm glad we're helping promote it, because I don't think enough people know about this.
They don't.
And this is all being paid through Medicare and Medicaid and all that, all the insurance companies.
Absolutely,
Right?
yeah. Everything is covered 100%. Like Samantha mentioned, especially with the admissions process, we set up delivery of equipment. The medications are delivered to your home, so you're not having to pick them up from a pharmacy. We go through a company that we contract with, and they deliver to the home. So all that's taken care of. again, to make it easier on the caregivers.
Absolutely. It's like going to RC Willie for furniture. Schedule it and they deliver it.
It's amazing.
So from beginning to end, from the time that you make your first visit, your consult, your evaluation, to the time someone starts service, what's the average length of time from beginning to end? Is it a week? Is it 3 days, 2 days?
Oh, no.
One
It's
day?
That day.
It's hours.
It's that day.
The
Yeah.
admission nurse is the one that starts the service.
Okay. Oh, gotcha.
So we're
okay.
considered the first visit.
Gotcha. So by the next day, worst case scenario, the nurse may make their first visit or the CNA or whatever and start. Okay.
Equipment arriving, things
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
that. That's great.
That's amazing.
What kind of equipment? Let's just touch on that a minute. I mean, wheelchairs, canes, walkers, beds, what
Mattresses.
Oxygen, nebulizers, floor mats if the patient's falling a lot, Hoyer lift if the patient's heavier and the family can't lift them out of bed. Anything that we see and that the family agrees upon would be necessary in keeping that patient home and comfortable.
Wow. What if they live? What if all their needs are on a second floor?
Set up the room downstairs.
Really?
We get a lot of the times where the family, if they have a living room downstairs or a family room.
Thing,
Right.
It happens a lot. We'll put as long as there's room in the family room or in the living room or even the
Set up shop
kitchen.
downstairs.
Set up shop down there.
You bring the hospital bed, the oxygen, an overbed table, everything that they need right there.
We used to do that when my grandparents, rest in peace, when my grandfather was sick.
Sure.
Came home from his angina attack. They set up the dining room. They moved the table, and in came the bed, and in came right there in the dining because he couldn't climb steps.
Right.
You can't climb steps. What are you going to do?
Right.
So, all right, guys. Unfortunately, that kind of wraps it up already.
Wow.
Next month we'll pick up
Goes
another
fast.
topic, wasn't it? It always goes
Very
fast.
fast.
Give website, contact information,
All that good stuff.
all the good stuff.
Yes, our website is cchlv.com. Any information you may need is on there. Our office number is 702-636-0200. If you have any questions about hospice, you can ask for myself. Again, my name is Nicole, or for the admissions department, and we will help you get your questions answered. Also, please remember, anyone can refer to hospice. If you have a loved one, a friend, a neighbor that you think may need our help, please call and we can come out and do a free assessment.
And it doesn't mean, again, that they're on their last days. It could be weeks. Any kind of decline that you notice. They're not eating, they're not outside as much, they're not talking as much, they're not driving anywhere anymore, they're losing weight, whatever signs you see that they were not showing to you a couple weeks ago, don't be afraid to call. The worst we can tell you is they're not appropriate and set you up with another service.
I just want to know on behalf of Mr. Cash, can we just sign up for the bath service?
You need a CNA.
I'm telling you.
Preferably a female.
Now I like it. Now it's good.
Love it. All right, guys. Thanks for coming in. We'll see you next month.
Yes.
We'll arrange with Lori what the next topic will be. It's always good to see you guys. Nice to meet you. Connect with us on Facebook so we can get the links up.
Definitely.
If you've missed anything in tonight's information, tomorrow afternoon on our Facebook page on Vegas Unwrapped Internet Radio, we'll have the links to their interview with us so that you'll be able to pull it out and get some information. So, as always, we want to thank Compassion Care Hospice for not only supporting us, more importantly, those supporting the community and supporting those in need who need your service. Coming up next, you know what's next, Mr. Cash?
Doing it with Styles.
With JPEG. He'll be in front of the camera on the other side, and maybe a surprise visitor.
Oh, no.
Don't know.
You never know.
We'll be right back.
All right.
Vegas Unwrapped coming at you from the studios of Vegas All Night Radio in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. Now in front of the camera is the original ham himself, Mr. John Styles. We affectionately call him JPEG, with a great segment that we absolutely love hearing about, Doing It with Styles, where he basically finds something that goes on around the world, locally now, who cares, something that just sort of fancies his tickle. So, take it away.
It's windy in here.
It is.
And it's interesting because sticking with the medical theme
Yes.
tonight, my award has a medical theme to it.
Nice.
We all have pets, right?
Yep.
All of us here. You got one too, don't you?
No, I put mine down.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that. Anyway,
Rumor has it that there may be another one coming up.
Don't go off tangent here.
this is my segment, just give me a break here. Anyway, this award this week is going to the Bonanza Cat Hospital over at 6620 Sky Point Drive in Las Vegas at 89131. Dr. Steelman over there is the best. They have what is called the Poppy Foundation, which is a charitable organization. They've got a separate area of the hospital over there which has about 50 or 60 cats in it that cannot be adopted. They have medical needs or whatever, and they raise funds, and they take care of those cats right there. And they have a very large community volunteer part of that whole organization. And if you've been watching my Facebook page, my personal Facebook page, you'll see that I'm fostering a little 2-week-old kitten.
Yes.
That they were looking for somebody to. They were looking for somebody to foster just for a couple of weeks. So I got this little guy at home. I called him LG for little guy, and I've been posting updates on the thing. So every 4 hours. So I got to leave here in about 57 minutes because I got to feed him. And
Gotcha.
No, but anyway, so I just want to give a shout out not only to Dr. Steelman, but also Linda McWherty Newman over there, who is the head of the Poppy Foundation, and they do such a great job. So this week's Doing It With Styles goes to the Bonanza Cat Hospital and the Poppy Foundation. And thanks, guys, for all you do. They take care of my animals as well. And they've got people from all over the valley that come all the way over there just because they do such a great job.
That's great.
So,
Good job. There we go.
Good job.
Congratulations to, was it Bonanza
Cat Hospital
Cat Hospital?
Very nice.
and the Poppy Foundation.
Poppy?
Poppy.
Like poppy seeds?
That's it.
Couldn't they say just puppy?
Nope.
What's significant of Poppy with cats?
Because the foundation was started by a cat that wandered in a few years back.
Named Poppy?
Named Poppy.
Oh, I get it.
And they started taking.
How they know its name?
They named it.
Oh, okay.
I'm done.
Thank you for listening.
Thanks, John.
Doing It With Style. Sponsored in part by AA Casaro Plumbing and Construction and heard exclusively on Vegas Unwrapped.
All right. Joining us at the microphone before we go to break is a dear friend that we haven't seen in a while. She's making a little surprise appearance. Our dear friend Nikki Lees joins us. How are you?
Hey, how are you?
What's going on, girl?
Oh my gosh. World has been crazy since I saw you guys last.
I know. We missed you through the whole summer. You were away as always.
She hides in the summer.
I go on hiatus, I do.
Yes, she
I
does.
do. I'm a snowbirder. I'm going to confess, I'm a snowbirder. I learned very early on to appreciate the better climates during the summer.
There you go. There you go.
I go higher during the summer, and
But you got to love what Vegas is now. I mean, 75 degrees during the day, 80 and 60 at night. It's
you
nice.
can't beat it. That's why everybody comes here.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what's good news? What's going on in your world? Do you want to
my
share with our
gosh.
listeners?
Well, guys, I mean, like, I've been through a lot in the last couple of years. You
Right.
guys know that. And I started going out and meeting more people and doing that and being part of the community and things. And, geez, I have a new friend. And he doesn't want to go away.
Wow.
I saw your post.
This is breaking news.
And he doesn't want to go away. So it's super scary. You know, I've learned a whole new side of mentoring and being part of giving back to the community and being there for people, being that listening ear. You know, that's one of the things that I really pride myself on. And it's turned out to really be a really, really dangerous situation for myself and actually a couple other women in the city.
Yeah, well, we know about some things because you're not the first person that's talked to us and others about some strange people living in this town.
Definitely, please. There are definitely some very strange people. But other than that, you know, I have to stay strong. I have to continue living. I have to continue making a mark I'm not going to stand down. In fact, I think it's only made me stronger. I'm going to continue and make sure that really now I kind of have even a bigger cause to kind of go for, because there have been hundreds of women who have contacted me through Facebook about being victimized, about being stalked, about being a person of abuse. And the signs and symptoms of a victim are all the same. All the same. We all share the same fear. We all share the same ideas. We all share the trauma that goes on in one's life when you constantly have to look back over your shoulder or wonder where that person's going to come at you again. Is mortifying.
It's the commonality that nobody really wants to deal with. People. It's funny because when people are in that situation, they fear to share it for the reason that they don't want to feel that they're stigmatized.
It's a huge. I can't believe that people would even think that, to be very honest. But it's in every single case. Every single case, the victim is made to feel that they're supposed to stay silent, that they are supposed to hide, that they are supposed to. That's why that they don't come forward. That's why that they continue to be victimized by these people. And
Nikki, are there any official organizations here in town that supports this type of, when I say supports the people that have been victimized? Are there any groups available for people to contact, support groups? What's out there in the community to help a lot of the ladies and some men as well?
Well, there's definitely a lot of men that are associated with it. It happens to everybody. There's no man or woman buffer. I would say no more women than men. And there are a lot of resources. There's all types of the women's shelters, all the basic ones. But what I'm bringing to the city is nomore.org. Nomore.org. It's a nationwide campaign that is bringing light to the new laws about social media stalking. It focuses on the victim and understanding what the victim is going through, and primarily how that they can get help and see the signs and things like that. So I'm super excited. This is a brand new partnership, and it's something that, I hope I don't die in the meantime trying to get the message out there.
I'm sure you won't, and you don't want to be the martyr.
Well,
but I will.
Not that either, but there is, when people are threatening your life, it's not just my life. There are other women in the city, other women that this has been done to and said to, and it's all by the same person.
Well, I'll tell you what.
And we all feel the same.
Knowing you the way we do, and the way you go after things, and your desire, your motivation, your energy, and I can go on for hours with that, we know that when you put your mind to something, it definitely, something gets done. So,
well, I'm hoping that's exactly what we do. But and
I don't have to tell you, you have our 100% support.
I appreciate that.
Anything that we could do along these lines, help you out, more than happy to do it.
Well, I'm excited. We have such a fantastic relationship and partnership. We really do make a difference in our community and get out there, and I just love being part of that, no matter what.
Well, we're so pleased that you've become, on a personal note, that you become a member of the Ricky Cash fan club.
I know. I was going to say that. Whoop, whoop, go Ricky!
And it's basically for the same reasons that we want, like what
right.
You're doing, reaching out to the community, helping out where we can. I wish we had some more time to talk to you.
No, that's great. I appreciate it. Thanks
Hey,
for
no problem. Good to see you.
saying hi.
Thank you for stopping in.
Okay.
We've got to go to the top of the hour break. You're listening to Vegas Unwrapped Internet Radio with Phillips and Cash. Bobcat on the board, JPEG behind the camera. Hour number 1 in the books. That can only mean one thing for hour number 2. Celebrity birthdays, dates, and history will be coming up right after this. So welcome back to hour number 2 of Vegas Unwrapped. catching up with our good friend Nikki Leese here during the break. And you want to come in and join the show?
Sure.
It is now time for the part of the show where we get to celebrate everybody's birthday. If you're celebrating a birthday today, October 23rd, we want to wish you a happy birthday from all of us at Vegas Unwrapped Internet Radio. And you are celebrating a birthday with these people. All right. We ready to go?
Always ready. You ready, Bobcat?
Now, hold on a second here.
He's got to get out his scorecard.
I got him.
Listen.
We got to put a muzzle on these two guys.
I'm telling you. It's like,
I mean, he comes in here and thinks this is the darn Sandy Castell show. This ain't the Sandy Castell show here.
like Tom and Jerry over here. Here we go. First birthday. Actor Ryan Reynolds. Ryan?
Who is he?
You don't know who he is?
No.
Van Wilder. He also was in the Blade Trinity. He was also the Green Lantern.
Oh, okay. That would make him about 31. I don't know.
36, Sam.
Bring up Nikki's mic.
Oh, there you go.
Everybody's up.
There you go.
28. Isn't that the picture of him there?
42.
38 would be the correct answer.
Oh, well, he looks really good.
Yeah, doesn't he? That's his.
I'm looking at a picture of him. He looks
You're
really
not allowed
good.
to look at the pictures.
She can't see the numbers.
Okay.
Yeah. I can't read it anyway.
But you know that's his face on my body.
Ooh,
Don't I wish?
sexy.
Jeez Louise. All right. Doug Flutie. Former quarterback.
The Flutester.
46.
46.
44.
44.
52.
52.
43.
52 is the correct answer, Mr.
Very
Cash.
good. He always wins.
Nancy Grace, TV lawyer.
Who in the hell cares?
I know. She's wackadoodle. She's on CNN.
Take your best shot.
56.
56.
She's 61.
61.
78.
Cash.
55.
55 would be the correct answer for Nancy Grace.
I know you studied these things before.
No.
Don't get him started.
No.
Watching you.
I know you are.
I can't even cheat.
Sam Raimi, legendary director of all the Evil Dead and Spider-Man movies.
Never seen an Evil Dead movie, so I couldn't tell you.
But Spider-Man you probably saw.
No.
No?
I wasn't Spider-Man.
Never seen Spider-Man?
No.
That's un-American.
Not even the cartoon one?
I like the cartoon.
I don't think he was involved with the cartoon, though.
58.
58.
67.
67.
Go ahead, Nikki.
64.
I'll go 66.
55, though, would be the right answer. Country star and TV star from Under the Dome, Dwight Yoakam.
Miss Bobcat likes him.
He was freaky on me.
Likes them jeans, man.
Right.
It was so
Look at Nikki over her eyes are about to bulge out of her sockets, man.
These are some sexy pics.
Dwight.
59.
59.
55.
55.
Nick.
62.
62.
65. 66.
58 would be the right answer, however. Director Ang Lee. He directed Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, The Hulk, and Brokeback Mountain. Which could also be called The Hulk in many other ways.
All right.
Sorry. Told you we digress rapidly
38.
there.
Yes.
38.
There's all those sexy pictures.
61.
61.
60. Oh, go ahead.
63.
Oh,
63.
you stole my answer, but that's probably, I don't know. 58.
Correct answer would be 60.
You're the call from down under, sir.
Yes, we'll be right there with you in a few minutes.
All right.
Soccer player Pele.
Pele?
Pele.
70.
70.
He's old, man.
He is?
He's old.
72.
72.
But I think it's 73.
67.
67.
73.
73. 74 would be the right answer. And we'll end with this one before we go to our caller. How old would Johnny Carson have been today had he still been alive?
Wow.
And I'll give you double bonus points if you tell me the year he died.
Johnny Carson would have been 93 today.
Okay.
And Johnny Carson died He was off the Tonight. I don't know.
You're trying. I know you're trying. All right, so just pick a year.
Let's go 91.
91.
I'm going to say 90, and I'm going to say he died in 1995.
95 and 90.
I didn't even know he was dead.
Are you serious? Really?
Serious.
Oh, my God. All right.
Hey, Johnny Carson's not here anymore.
Yes.
I just found that out.
I did not know that.
This is a rocket science store. I was gonna say, what did you say?
I said 90. I said 90.
Oh, I was gonna say 92, and then I don't know on either when he died.
He would have been 89, and he's gone 9 years already, passed in 2005. Wow.
I was gonna say 2006, but
So once again, if you're celebrating a birthday today, October
Happy
23rd,
birthday!
we want to wish you a happy birthday from all of us at Vegas Unwrapped Internet Radio. And we'll dispense with dates and history till a little later on in the show, because if we have a caller online from a very far distance, Mr. Cash, in your honor,
No way.
we have a caller on the line all the way from Australia,
Down under?
who is supporting the cause of the Ricky Cash fan club.
No way.
Hello, caller. Welcome, and let us know who you are.
G'day, my name is Stella from Down Under.
Stella from Down Under.
I heard your show on YouTube, and I thought that the Ricky Cash Club was a great charity cause, and I really wanted to jump on board.
Well,
I'll make a donation.
That's awesome.
all right. I gotta ask the first question that comes up here. It's 8:10 p.m. Pacific time in Las Vegas, Nevada. What time is it where you are right now?
It's 2:10 p.m. in the afternoon.
On Friday.
Australia.
So we're actually calling the future, Mr. Cash.
Yes.
She's calling the past.
She's calling.
We got a call from the future.
There is something wrong in the time-space continuum here.
Where's Marty McFly when you need him?
Serious.
Oh my! Well, so you picked up the Ricky Cash fan club. You found us on YouTube, and
That's correct.
And
Ricky,
listen,
you're famous.
You're Stella. You're like the first international supporter that we have, and we're grateful that you picked up. I know Cash is sitting here just beaming, grin to grin, that he's
This is
been now he's
amazing.
international.
That's great.
Stella, what do you do
But it
for?
feels that way.
What do you do for? What do you do for a living?
I really thought I'm going to spread the word around here.
Well, that would be great.
Well, maybe we can make you the international representative of the Ricky Cash fan club.
Oh, I'd love that. That would be fantastic.
Wow. Well, we're going to have to send you some extra stuff. T-shirts, membership certificates, pens. And I can't help with, unless you come to the States, we can't give you show tickets.
Wait. Will the pens work down there? Wouldn't they be upside down?
Yes, you have to write them. That's correct. Yeah, the ink flows the other way down.
Yeah,
That's correct.
yeah.
And do the toilets flush the opposite way down there than they do here in the States?
Yes.
I've heard that's
No,
true too.
Not,
They
no,
don't.
it's not true.
Okay,
It's the same
see,
way.
I thought it did.
I've
Once
been
again,
to the
another
States,
lie in
it's the same way.
timeshare.
I've heard a lot of things about your toilet too.
Unbelievable. Stella, tell us what you do for a living.
See, it only took 3 minutes to go to the toilet.
Of course.
I work in radio.
Oh, you do?
Oh, wow.
Yes, I work in radio in Australia.
You have your own show?
I have my own show, that's correct.
What do you do on your show? Is it a talk show,
I have
music
a
show?
70s and 80s show and an Italian show.
Wow.
So we have a brethren radio personality not only supporting, calling in. I mean, I'm blown away that and the call is so cool. There's no delay. There's no nothing. Are you on Skype or something calling us?
No, I'm not on Skype. Actually, we use Viber in Australia. You're behind. We use Viber.
Okay.
We don't use Skype.
Oh,
Wow.
And wait. What is it called? What do you
Everything
use?
we do with our phones.
Viper.
Is that Viper like the snake?
Yeah.
Yeah, Viber.
We got to check that out, guys.
Viber. V-I-B-E-R.
Oh, Viber. Oh,
B.
you talk weird.
You think? What about this? I'm just
You should hear you
really
guys.
amazed, like doing it with styles. Styles is doing it with everybody.
Oh, only if I get the chance.
with that comment, you've
Does
definitely.
everybody go to his joint and have a good time?
I tell you what, Stella, with that kind of attitude, you're automatically a member of the Vegas Unwrapped team.
Stella, do you have a Facebook page?
No, I have a Twitter page.
Oh, a Twitter page.
That means Cash can't connect with you. He doesn't know what Twitter means.
I know what tweeting is.
So, go ahead.
So I hope you wear the franger. Do you know what I mean?
No, but I'd like to hear that again.
Yeah. I told you guys she talks funny.
Say again. John stepped all over you.
He doesn't have much radio experience.
Stella, repeat the last thing you just said.
I just said, I hope he wears a franger.
And what is that?
I can guess.
You know what I mean? A franger,
I can guess. A raincoat.
Band.
Oh, I gotcha. A condom?
I think we're going to have a language barrier.
You know, for John, it's
translation law.
Lily, and it's four sisters, you know what I mean?
So, Stella, tell us more about your radio show. Where can people listen? How long have you been on the air?
People can listen in on a Tuesday between 5 and 6. That's the Italian show. And I've just got back from, I've just got back from doing a show called Wentworth, and that's taken up 3 months, and I'm ready to start my 70s, 80s show on a Friday. Again, I'm not sure on the time slot, but...
What city are you in? Are you in Melbourne?
I'm in Melbourne, Australia.
Good job.
Good guess.
Good guess.
It's the only city he knows in Australia.
I know Sydney and Perth also.
You went to school with them.
Have you been down under?
No, well, I'm down under every day, but not, I can't even make that word happen. No, I haven't, but back in the day, we used to meet a lot of people from Australia, and dare I say New Zealand, when they used to come up to Las Vegas and come try to look at timeshares.
Oh, right, that's right. I remember when all that was going on.
Yeah, that was always going on, and so we got a chance.
Still going on, actually.
we got to meet some lovely people. I will say that they are, you people, all right, are probably the most friendly people of all the foreign countries that we saw that came in, to our program. We love the Aussies. They were great.
And we love the Americans, we do.
Well, that's a nice thing.
I'm just enamored with the accent.
Well, I like the koala bears, and of course, there was a great video about two kangaroos fighting. Did you see that one on the
the one on the street that were
That's
fighting?
right. That's right. That was on.
Yeah, that actually literally happened.
Well, last week
in the backyard, and they were all drinking beer, watching the show.
Unbelievable.
Well, you should fall right into that, Mr. Cash. That's your thing right there. Well, Stella, you probably like Mr. Cash. You know why? Because he sort of looks like a koala bear.
I must send him a koala bear in then. You'll have to send me your address.
No, we will send you all sorts of stuff. By the way, the fact that you will spread the news about the Ricky Cash Fan Club Down Under is really a great thing, because the whole idea was to support various charities that Aaron and I have been supporting for years, but we have not been able to help them financially. We make up public appearances, we do various things, and but we just didn't feel like it was enough. So the idea of the fan club was to promote all of the people out there that are in need from some parts of the world, and we're out there to help them. So this is terrific.
Well, I'll be promoting it on my show for sure.
Well, and what's amazing is that that you found this because of the YouTube videos, and it just goes to show you that the world is shrinking. I mean, that 20, 30 years ago, being able to hear or see a radio show or a television show from another country at the other side of the world,
absolutely,
was unheard of.
It was crazy.
We're all in this together now, man. This is cool.
Stella, what I'd like you to do is go to our website, which is www.vegasunwrapped.net, and there is a link there to the Ricky Cash Fan Club. You'll be able to look at the backstory on there and how it got started, and we'd like nothing more than for you to not only join, but to spread the word. And I'd love Australia to be the #1 country outside the U.S. with members. That would be absolutely fabulous. And
I'll try my best. I definitely will, and I will plug it on my show.
Oh, that is far out.
So what we need to... what we need to do is try to reciprocate if we can figure out a time, and we'd love to call into your show and be guests on your show when the time arrives.
That'll be great. Would you like to come on the Italian or the 70s and 80s?
The 70s and 80s.
Okay, well, I'll tell you a time soon, and I'll email you with a time, and you can come on and you can promote the Ricky Cash Club. I heard he was a big hero.
Oh, my goodness.
In his own mind, at least. Listen, Stella, thank you so much for calling in and spending some time with us. We greatly appreciate it.
Fantastic.
And
Thanks for taking my call to the entire Vegas Unwrapped team. Goodbye. You've all been great sports, and you've all been a crack up.
Well, hey, call anytime.
Call anytime. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Stella. Wow. How cool is that, huh?
That's beyond cool.
Stella, and I could just hear somebody out there saying, "Oh, that's a fake accent and everything
No
else."
way.
No, that was
the real deal.
Legitimate call from Australia from someone who picked us up on YouTube. God bless the
Melbourne.
internet. Melbourne. That's great. I'm sitting here with goosebumps.
Yeah.
All right, we come back on the other side. We're going to nail dates in history just for fun. And Nikki departed from us, so
She had an event.
She had an event to go to. So good to see her. When we come back, dates in history, Mr. Cash.
You got it.
We'll be back right after this. That's coming up now. I got to schedule it. I got it scheduled.
You see what happens because of Tuesday night? I start doubting everything.
Don't start doubting me, man.
I wouldn't.
I'll replace you faster.
Already says it in the commercial that you're getting replaced, so I mean,
I get no respect.
All right, dates in history. Let's have some fun with some dates in history.
But I've got a fan club.
But you got a fan club, yeah, surprisingly, right?
international.
That's right. Now you can say it's an international fan club. Jeez. All right, Mr. Cash, here we go. Let's see.
No, I actually played the wrong music because
No, that's right.
No, you're right. Was I right, Jones? You're right.
Indiana.
What year did Blanche Scott become the first woman to fly an airplane by herself? She flew over a park in Fort Wayne, Indiana, 12 feet off the ground.
Wow, that couldn't have been much further than 1912.
1910 would be the correct answer.
That's a pretty good guess.
What year Disney classic Dumbo was released and it cost only $812,000 to make?
Dumbo. I'm going to say 1931.
1941 would be the correct answer.
Okay.
What year did the classic western The Magnificent Seven get released, starring Yul Brynner as a leader of a group of gunfighters hired to defend a village full of oppressed Mexicans?
I'll say 1961.
1960 would be the correct answer. What?
A year late and $100 short.
Exactly. What year did presidential candidate Jimmy Carter respond to a public outcry over comments he made in an interview with Playboy magazine on his spiritual beliefs? Jimmy Carter said, quote, "Christ said, I tell you that anyone who looks on a woman with lust has in his heart already committed adultery. I've looked on a lot of women with lust. I've committed adultery in my heart many times."
Good old Jimmy. And that was in the campaign, too.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say that would be 1976.
1976 would be the correct answer.
Very nice.
What year did the song If You Leave Me Now by Chicago hit #1 on the pop singles charts?
Interesting that you'd bring up Chicago, right?
Far out.
That's right. We had an opportunity to meet the original drummer of Chicago yesterday.
One of the founders.
One of the founding members. That's right. What year?
I'm thinking here.
Okay.
1970.
1976 would be the correct answer.
They were around for quite a while.
Exactly. CBS Records jacked up the price of new albums to $8.98 in what year?
Wow. $8.98 for an album.
Mm-hmm. Used to collect albums.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm going to say 1976.
1978 would be the correct answer. What year, despite Anita Hill's charges of sexual harassment, Clarence Thomas was sworn in as the nation's 106th Supreme Court Justice? I won't finish reading what else it says here.
Yeah, he was a Clinton guy too, so I'm going to say 1992.
1991 would be the correct answer. What year did a jury in Houston convict Yolanda Saldivar of murder in the March 31st of Selena? I won't say the year because that'll give it away.
Yeah. Selena. 1998.
1995 would be the correct answer. What year did Barbara Mandrell give her final musical performance at the Grand Ole Opry House? She quit music to concentrate on acting and said, quote, "I'm continuing down the show business road. I'm just changing lanes."
She must have went off the cliff.
She must have taken the wrong ramp.
Because nobody's seen her since.
That's right.
1998.
1997 would be the correct answer. What year did the movie Pleasantville get released starring Tobey Maguire and Reese Witherspoon?
2000.
1998 would be the correct answer. You're slipping, Mr. Cash. Last but not least,
I'm a
mercifully.
year or two away from every answer, and you tell me I'm slipping?
Hey, did you get them right?
I got one right.
Did you get the others right?
No.
Okay, then. What year did Ashley Simpson get caught faking it on Saturday Night Live? Within days, she blamed it on the dreaded acid reflux, where she had to lip sync her song on.
Is that what she blamed it on?
That's what she blamed it on.
Ashley Simpson.
Acid reflux.
2003.
2004 would be the correct answer. By the way, I have one more birthday for you that I inadvertently skipped before. Weird Al Yankovic.
Today's Weird Al's birthday?
Today's Weird Al's birthday.
Wow.
What year was he born? How old was he today?
69.
55 would be the correct answer for Weird Al.
I thought he was much older.
All right, when we come back on the other side, it is newsworthy topics that we're going to talk about next, because
we do that.
Because we do that. Vegas Unwrapped will be back with more stuff right after this. All right, welcome back to Vegas Unwrapped. I'm still blown away by a call from Australia.
That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
All right. I know we were talking during the break about a particular topic, and we'll get to that in a second. But I wanted to mention, because I posted this story on our fan page. You know, a year ago next week, of course, being Halloween next week, a young lady in North Las Vegas by the name of Brazil Ward was a victim of hit and run.
Right.
She was, I think, 6 or 7, young gal out with some friends on her bike or whatever it was, and
what a great story this is turning out to be.
Yeah, and she spent nearly, 4, 5, 6 months in the hospital, and they weren't sure. But if you go to our fan page, and you'll see a story that, and I'm just going to read the headline here real quickly: Brazil Ward learning to use stairs nearly 1 year after hit and run.
I saw it on there was a TV news story about her, and it shows her, going up the stairs, and she's learning how to walk. And I mean, this girl, they basically, not only were they surprised that she survived, but they said she'll never walk again, she'll be wheelchair bound, all of this kind of stuff, and she's just making a remarkable recovery.
Yeah, and it's great to see, because unfortunately it was something that got a lot of attention, and it had been quiet for a while, obviously, because privacy of the family. And I was really pleased to see that story come out, that she's doing well.
Great.
And she is,
a lot of people confuse her.
She was 7.
They confuse her with the little girl that was hit on Blue Diamond.
Right.
You remember last year almost around the same time, wasn't it?
Pretty close.
Yeah.
So
now they have a traffic light at in that area
finally,
where that girl was.
Almost took a year to get it up.
Yeah, absolutely.
But good job to Brazil, and she is certainly an inspiration.
Right.
For those people that think that the worst thing that happened to them is happened to them.
Absolutely. So just wanted to share that. Good story, good news to hear and read, and you can check out the full story on our fan page on Facebook.
I want you to know, before we get to that other thing, Cammie has always got her eye on the law, right? Mm-hmm. And for those of you who do not know, she had been an avid follower of the Jodi Arias case, and now that has gone to finally back in court. Today was day 3 for the sentencing phase, but basically, because it's a whole new jury, right? They almost have to go through the whole trial again, just to determine whether it's going to be life imprisonment or the death penalty. Mm-hmm. And I say, save the money, give a life imprisonment, and let it be the end of it, because they're not going to kill her. They're just not going to do it.
You don't think so?
No, do not think it will happen.
Mr. Phillips?
I got to be honest with you. I don't care. I just, whether she lives or dies, I mean...
I just think there's so much money that's being spent on both the trial and now the sentencing phase.
$6.5 million so far?
It's ridiculous.
Unbelievable money.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Final score, 35-21, Denver over San Diego. So,
you know, for a gal who spent the last, 5 years in jail, you know, with waiting for the trial, and she looks pretty good.
Well, hanging in there.
Yeah, I know.
Wouldn't want to be a roommate.
I wonder if she'd be a... No, I don't think I'm going to solicit her for the fan club. No.
I think I'd stay away from that. Your luck's running good with Australia tonight. Don't push it.
Yeah, don't push it. It's right. All right, so...
But wait, aren't they all criminals down there in Australia? Isn't that where Australia came from? England sent all their criminals down there?
Devil's Island. There was a couple of good movies.
No offense, anybody down under.
Great, we just got him in our corner, John. Way to go.
Nice going.
Took him a whole 6 months to get this thing together, and you just screwed it up in 2 seconds.
Well, what do you expect? He's a JPEG.
Hanging around with that Leonetti character too much.
I think so.
All right, so why don't you lead us in?
Here's what I came up with. You know, we've been doing this on in the locker room with Raw Power Sports. We've been coming up with various lists. All right, we had a good one this past week, so I thought maybe we could try something here on Vegas Unwrapped, since we always unwrap things in Vegas. So I'm asking all of you guys to put down who you think are the 5 greatest performers to ever perform here in Las Vegas. And so that leaves a tremendous open field, and give us your top 5. All right, who wants to start?
Well, go ahead, JPEG.
All right, not necessarily in the order,
Right.
but and groups are okay, right?
They're neat, right?
Okay.
Entertainers.
All right. Well, the first one I came up with was Elvis, of course.
Okay.
The second one was
I'm going to see how many votes he gets.
okay. I got Elvis. I got the Rat Pack.
Now, you've got them as a Rat Pack, not
Yes,
individually?
not individuals, as a group.
Okay.
I mean, I know all of them have performed here one time or another, but I think, kind of all together, Dean and Sammy and Frank,
Okay.
we're kind of okay. Then I got Bobby Darin.
Ooh.
And then Lily Tomlin.
Interesting.
And then Anne Margaret.
She was right there on my list.
Yeah, and that's my top 5.
I took her off.
And not necessarily in any particular order, but just that's how I thought of them.
Sounds good.
All right.
Let's go.
I took Sinatra, okay? I mean, you can't beat with Frank. I actually had the great pleasure of seeing the 4th show at the International Hotel with Elvis Presley. So Elvis Presley was there. What a great loss. What a great entertainer, Danny Gaines at the Mirage. Danny Gaines, what a great show. Had an opportunity to interview this gentleman on another show on this network. Lance Burton, what a great musician, a magician. I thought Lance retired way too soon.
Yeah.
And I thought he could have hung. And, she doesn't get out here much anymore, but I'll tell you one thing, when she does come to town, it's less than 30 minutes and she's a sellout. Barbara Streisand, right there you go.
Oh, yeah.
5-5.
Very nice. Very good choices. Aaron.
All right. I got Elvis. Again, no particular order per se, but Elvis would have to be right at the top. I wrote Sinatra / Rat Pack, because most of the time, Sinatra played on his own, but it was always Joey Bishop would show up, or Sammy would always show up anyway. So, how can we forget the Triniers? Longest running lounge act from 1948 or 1940 something till 2007 or 5, whatever it was. Wayne Newton, staple in Las Vegas. And then the last one, I had trouble coming up with the 5th one, but I selected Siegfried and Roy as world-class.
What a great show. Great show.
Yeah.
So, actually, you say great show, but I saw it when I was out here in '95 for an international convention, and for what we paid for the tickets, I actually walked out disappointed.
Really? Mm-hmm. Well, I saw when we first moved out here, we got Miss Bobcat and I got a couple of comp tickets to go see Chris Angel. Mm-hmm. And everybody told us, you're going to hate the show, And, well, first of all, it wasn't Chris Angel Mind Freak. We're not going to watch Chris Angel get, thrown into the Grand Canyon. It's a theater show.
It's a cirque show.
Yeah. And I liked it. I liked his show a lot, but I'll tell you still to the date, man, Lance Burton was right. And you mentioned something else, too, that I forgot to put in here. It was the longest running show up until its time.
Right.
Feliz Bourget at the Tropicana, what a class act show it was, you know. Mr.
All right. Well, my votes are mixed among some of yours as well. I put down Frank because I thought Frank was by himself so many times that he performed here, certainly was the chairman of the board. At the same time, I thought Sammy, when he performed on his own, always brought the house down, and he was here many, many times on his own. I'm with you guys with Elvis. I mean, Vegas made Elvis, Elvis made Vegas. You know, when he was over at the International, and, you know, that was the prime of his career, and he was outstanding. Here's one that nobody said, and that's okay, but she was the giant of the 50s and 60s into the early 70s, and that was Ella Fitzgerald. And she really rocked well, she wasn't a rock, but she rocked the house. And finally, interesting that you mentioned Wayne Newton. I'm coming in along the same lines. Liberace. Liberace for so many years was terrific. So if we want to do a little scoreboard on this, the winner is Elvis on all four of our on our tickets. Frank was on 3.5. So, you know, and then after that, you know, everybody got votes along the line. Interesting, though. We named some of the greatest entertainers of all time, and it was tremendous.
Can you bring up my pod there when you get a second?
Go.
Open the pod bay door, Al.
Yeah. When I saw this on TV for the very first time, this is when I really fell in love with Sammy Davis. Because his rendition of Mr. Bojangles
It's the best of all time.
Yes.
and
Love it.
I have it pulled up here.
I knew a man, Bojangles, and he danced for you. In worn out shoes,
Phenomenal.
with silver hair, a ragged shirt, and baggy pants. He would do the old soft shoe. He could jump so high, jump so high. Then he would lightly touch down. I met him in a cell in New Orleans. I was. Well, I was down and out. He looked to me to be the very eyes of age. As he spoke right out, talked over life. Lord, that man talked of life. Laughed, slapped his
You know, some entertainers were just born to play certain roles that makes them iconic, or in this case, sing certain songs that make. Now, I never heard Sammy Davis sing a song bad. I mean, even a vampy song or campy song like the Candyman, which hit pop charts. I mean, for that song. But I mean, he would sing the classics. But to me, there's no better version than Mr. Bojangles that he does. And then, of course, the tap dance and everything else within. And it's almost like he was born to be Mr. Bojangles.
I think he had the greatest range of any singer that's ever sang here in Vegas. So, you know, Who Can I Turn To, and some of the others that he made popular. And he was such a giant. He was a giant, and he was a race breaker there. He was the one that Frank Sinatra told the guy at the Sands, if you don't let him walk in the front door with us, we're not performing.
Right.
And it was Sammy that, from that point on, not just with the Rat Pack, of course, but the name that he made for himself. I mean, he made some movies, you know, that he always...
He was
some
funny
Western,
in the...
he made some Western movies.
Made some Westerns, but the movie with the car chase, not the car chase, but the race around the country with Dean Martin. Cannonball Run.
Yeah,
Cannonball Run, yeah.
And I'll never forget, it was in the second one, he's teamed up with Dean Martin. They're driving the police car. And Dean Martin, or Sammy asks Dean if he could drive the car, and Dean Martin says, no. He says, why not? He says, because you're small. 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 And you could just see Sammy just, oh, God. I mean, just a classic actor, classic individual to be part of.
I mean, he broke so many barriers,
Right.
the race barriers.
Yes.
Then he married a white girl.
Yeah.
Right?
Then he converted.
And then he converted to Judaism.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, there's a guy that just, come on, bring it. What, you got some prejudice? Bring
And
it.
he had a glass eye.
And he had a glass eye.
That's right. All right. You know what it's almost time for, Mr. Cash?
We going to come in with weird news after this,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Absolutely, because there's a story in here I want to read. So, all right. Time of the show where we realize that we're a lot more normal than we thought. Coming up, News of the Weird, right after this.
Interesting tidbit.
Absolutely. All right, it's that time of the show where we get to realize we're a lot more normal than we thought we are. It's time for Weird News. You want to lead us off?
Yeah, I'm going to lead us off because the foreign press has given us some medical marvels. The first one, in October, which used to be the month of real crazies, right? Workers at a clinic in Honda, Colombia, reporting helping a 22-year-old woman who came in several days earlier with vegetation growing from her vagina. She said her mother had told her that inserting a potato, now sprouting, was an effective contraception.
Well, sure, there's no room for anything else.
I wonder if it was a sweet potato.
Was it a spud? Did it have eyes?
I'll give you the next one. An 18-year-old woman was admitted in Bishkek Hospital in Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan Republic in September with severe stomach pains, which doctors discovered was due to her long-standing habit of chewing both discarded hair and her own. Doctors removed a hairball that weighed 8.8 pounds.
Yikes.
There was a photo on Yahoo that showed it.
All right. This is under the section called The New Normal. New York Giants tight end Larry Donnell manages his own fantasy league team by drafting NFL players for virtual competitions based on the real-life statistics of the previous weekend. Donnell lamented to New Jersey's The Record in October that he had benched virtual Larry Donnell on his own fantasy team the week before because he thought his other tight end, Vernon Davis from the 49ers, would do better. In reality, Will Donnell had a career-high game with 3 touchdowns, leading the real Giants to a 45-14 victory over Houston. However, Donnell's fantasy team lost badly because virtual Larry Donnell was on Donnell's bench.
They should stick to playing the game. Least competent criminals.
Love them.
Here comes a two-parter.
All right.
Not ready for prime time.
Oh, God.
William Dixon, 21, was arrested in Brentwood, Tennessee in August, fleeing a Best Buy store after arousing suspicion. According to the police report, Dixon, on foot, ran across all the lanes of Interstate 65, but the chase ended when he collided into a tree.
Nice. My goodness.
Number 2, in October, a man unnamed in news reports snatched a bottle of wine from a shelf of a Sainsbury's supermarket in East Grinstead, England, and dashed for the door. However, he ran into a shelving unit and knocked himself unconscious. Jerk.
Nice. Just in time for California's new law requiring explicit consent for student sexual activities is the free iPhone Google app Good to Go, which developer Leanne Allman promises will simplify the consent process and, quite frankly, even document it. As described in a September Slate.com report, Good to Go requires the initiator to send the prospective partner to at least 4 smartphone screens, wait for a text message, provide phone numbers unless he or she is a multiple user with an account, and choose accurately one sobriety level. All before the mood evaporates, ending the app's usefulness. It took the tech-savvy Slate writer 4 minutes to navigate the process, and she was still unclear which sexual activities have been consented to since those specifics aren't referenced.
Too bad. I got another competent criminal for you guys. Ready for this one?
Yes.
Walter Morrison, 20, a United Parcel Service baggage agent at Phoenix's Sky Harbor Airport, apparently intended only to swipe random parcels, but inadvertently came upon in one package a diamond later to be found to be worth $160,000. Police charging him in September said he traded the diamond to a friend for a gram of marijuana, around $20 retail.
Not good value trade there, that's for sure.
That's U.S. capitalism, commerce at its
right. All right. A perfect world. In August, the Tampa Bay Times reported a dispute in Dunedin, Florida, between a 12-year-old lemonade stand operator T.J. Guerrero and the adult neighbor Doug Wilkie, trying to close him down as an unlicensed entrepreneur, despite TJ's business plan for assisting his favorite animal shelter. Of course, TJ was quickly inundated with donations, media praise, and more lemonade sales. Wilkie, however, is under investigation by the city after a tipster revealed that Wilkie himself might operate a home-based financial services business not properly licensed. Talk about opening up a can of worms there.
Wow.
Busting yourself. Jeez.
You know, we talk about the campaign trail.
Yes.
All of us trying to vote early, throw our support against question number 3, but this one's real good. My friends, I am a man of action. Roger Weber, running for a Minnesota House seat in November, is now being sued by a neighbor over a property line dispute near Nashwauk. Rather than working with the arbitrator or a mediator or letting the legal process run its course, Weber in 2013 took a chainsaw and sliced completely in half the large two-car garage that Weber said that sat on half his property and half on his neighbor. I'm a man of action. He's going to be a man in jail.
And we'll see what kind of action he gets there.
Yeah.
Sensitive in Vermont. In Winooski, Vermont, this past August, a local eatery, Sneakers Bistro, earned public advertising space by beautifying one of the city's flower beds.
No.
And managers used it for the quixotic ad, "Yield for Sneakers Bacon." After one woman complained that the sign disrespected those who do not consume pork, Sneakers took it down.
Okay. Let's get a perspective on this. Prosecutors in Killeen, Texas, are seeking the death penalty for Marvin Guy, who in May shot one SWAT officer to death and wounded 3 as they conducted an unannounced, no-knock drug raid at his home at 5:30 a.m., leading Guy to believe that hoodlums were breaking in and thus provoking him to grab his gun and start firing. The tip given to police was bogus. No drugs were found. However, in December, 90 miles away in another Texas county, mistaken SWAT raid victim Henry Maggi also killed an officer under similar circumstances, except that Maggi actually had some marijuana, but was cleared in the shooting by a grand jury's acceptance of self-defense. By the way, Guy is black, Maggie is white.
Nice. Well, that does it for another episode of Vegas Unwrapped. I want to thank our guests who came into the studio tonight, Nicole and Samantha from Compassion Care Hospice. I want to thank Nikki Lease for stopping in. It was good to see her. And then on the end, we want to thank Stella from Australia.
From Melbourne.
Melbourne, Australia. Now the Ricky Cash fan club's going international. Stay tuned for BCN Talk with Robert and Gil coming up here at the top of the hour. Want to thank Bobcat. Want to thank JPEG, doing it with Styles. Another fabulous segment of Mr. Cash.
Thank you, guys.
Have a good week, everybody. Mr. Cash, be kind to each other, sir.
We are all we have.
Have a great week. We look forward to you next Thursday on the eve of Halloween here on Vegas Unwrapped.